Dog training is a lot of fun, and a lot of people get into it because of the appeal of working with dogs, working with an animal for a living, getting paid for that. But did you know that people also get really tired and sick and tired of that as well? People get burnt out. People at some point decide this is not something they want to do. And to help me with that process, because everybody goes through it, I found that there are four things that can really help you out, can really get you past that hump. So, reason number one, or the one thing rather, that can help you get past that is go back and remember why you started. There's a reason why you started training dogs. There was one reason. And that made it very compelling to you. It could have been that you were sick and tired of working in an office, sick and tired of working, stocking shelves, or you had a dog that maybe needed some training, and so you got the training going, and you realized how fun and exciting that was. So go back to that reason, put yourself back in that mindset, and if you feel like that reason is not strong enough, then find other reasons as to why you think this is beneficial. It's easy to say, I really don't want to do this anymore, but what would your life be like if you didn't train dogs anymore? Think about those little reasons and try to go back to that. Reason number two, or a second tip that can help you with this, is have a weekly or monthly hobby. Training dogs is fun and it's great, but you can get burnt out if you never take a break. One thing I do myself is I look for other things. I work out. I have other things that I'm pursuing. I paint and I draw. These are things that take my mind away from dog training. And you have to do that. If you're constantly eating chocolate cake every single day, no matter how much you like chocolate cakes, eventually you're going to get sick and tired of chocolate cakes. Right? And so dog training is very similar to that, or anything that you love to do for that matter. If you don't do something else away from it, even if it's for a day here and there, even if it's not something that takes you away weekly, monthly, or even daily, if you don't do that, you will get sick and tired of it. So make sure that you take breaks, do something else that refreshes you, so for that, when you do come back to dog training, it doesn't seem boring anymore. A lot of people think, I love dog training. Dog training is my passion. Yes, that is my page, and I am very passionate about it, but I have to take breaks. If you don't, you get burnt out, you get sick and tired of it, and you don't last. Another thing that helps me and helps other people is create weekly or daily or monthly goals while you're training dogs. There's nothing more exhausting than training dog after dog after dog after dog and just going through the motions, being stuck on autopilot, and before you know it, the day's over and you're like, oh my God, where'd my day go? I've just been training dog after dog after dog. That's exhausting and you're definitely gonna get bored. Don't get caught in that trap. So what you wanna do is think about something, right? When you go to train the next dog, think, what can this one dog teach me? And that's one thing that helped me. That's one thing that I myself, when I was feeling down, when I was feeling exhausted, when I was feeling really bored, that's what helped me get past that, which was I would tell myself the next dog has to teach me something. Every dog is different. Every dog is unique. This next dog will help me, will teach me something. Last thing I would say, if you have tried all those things, you can't find a strong enough reason to stay committed to training dogs. Having a weekly, monthly, daily hobby that takes you outside of dog training doesn't really help you out, doesn't motivate you. Creating weekly goals kind of gets old. You're not into it. Here's the last thing you could do. You could just stop training dogs. It's perfectly okay. You don't have to train dogs for a living. It's fun, it's great, but you might realize that this is something that you like to do kind of on the side. I know dog trainers that don't stay in the dog training industry. They leave, they go back to their old jobs. They realize that, it's not quite as fun when they have to do it for a living. It's fun to do it, for fun, but sometimes when your hobby becomes your job, that's exactly what happens to it. It becomes a job and it's boring, exhausting. So I completely get that. And there's nothing wrong with not training dogs anymore. You can pursue the next thing, do something else, and that is perfectly okay. Just be very careful that you're not just quitting. And that's one thing that I tell people. If you're not feeling right at the moment when it comes to training dogs, is it because you really don't like this, or is it because you're just quitting? Moving on is fine. Don't train dogs, do something else. Quitting is not okay. Because if you just quit and you move on, you're going to take that quitter attitude to the next phase of your life. You're going to do something else, you're going to get excited, you're going to get bored, and then you're going to quit. And then you're going to move on to something else, and you're just going to keep constantly quitting. I felt like quitting so many times, but I'm glad I stuck to it. So be careful. You don't want to quit, but it's okay to move on.